Hi, this is an episode of Captain Obvious with Waptec. Um, if you read the title of the video, you already know what really actually happened, unless you avoided looking it up. So I'm providing four archived sources, and then you can look up what people say continually over time. So we're going to do Occam's razor, or more accurately, Occam's giant scythe harvesting the damned. A dime bag of Coke, most likely, was ditched by a tour visitor in a cubby area of the West Executive Basement entryway to the West Wing that was found by a Secret Service Uniform Division officer at 6 p.m. on the 2nd of July, 2023. I didn't waste your time. That's literally what happened. The most likely suspect is everybody who went through the place since the last time the place was checked. The Secret Service regularly checks areas like this, and this is an area where people are told to leave their cell phones and anything else that they might have with them that might be considered a security risk. And now I'm going to give my opinion on security at the White House. I don't give a damn that this is a public hunk of dirt that anybody can enter and all that. I wouldn't allow it. Ever since January 6th, I would bar anybody from entering it unless they had valid reasons to be there. It's the residence of the President of the United States, and anybody walking in with a shoe bomb is a threat. Okay, now the reality of it is it's one of the more armored buildings now because of the way they rebuilt it at one point. And, the security people checking people are pretty good. That also would induce a person at this location to ditch something like contraband. And if you're not aware of it, a place that makes you ditch things has somebody else come back and get it for you, or you come back through the same point to retrieve it, so that it only goes past. We're going to call it an air gap or whatever, airlock, if you're a gaming geek. So this is a location that nobody showed on a map, which pissed me off. And I went to the trouble of looking at maps for the White House, but I decided, you know what, that's not relevant. This is a place where you'd walk in to do a tour, be told to leave everything behind that isn't absolutely necessary, and then on your way back get it, or the staff would retrieve it for you. Odds are you'd just come back for it. And that's it. Now, why is this being associated with Hunter Biden? Because the Biden family is not like the Clinton booty count meme where everybody who's an embarrassment gets removed. If you're not aware of this, I'm just going to lay this out. The reason you know that there is no Clinton body count, there is none of this shit going on, is Hunter Biden still alive? He could accidentally have an overdose, and everybody would just accept that years ago. And honestly, he's an embarrassment to the point that I really, really wish he didn't exist anymore. I wish he would just go someplace and not come back. Just go hide on some part of the planet where nobody cares. Next, immediately Fox and Friends, aka Faux News, The Five, whatever renamed show it is for the same network of horse shit. Hunter Biden's associated in some way. Of course you wanted it to be, so it'll be in the title of my video. That's how we get page views. It doesn't mean it's true. Next, if I was the White House person in charge of this, we'd like to ask you some serious questions. Oh, it was Joe Biden's Coke. What? And I would literally deadpan, as the press secretary say, yeah, that's Joe Biden's cocaine. And Hunter gave it to him. And I would just keep rubbing their nose in it. And I'd get out from behind the podium and walk towards the hag that Fox News said. And you know what? You can print it because I said it, and it's on recording. I want you to. Go right ahead. Anything else? And then I would go back to the podium and say, yeah, this is an area that's accessed by people going through the tour, and somebody ditched it because it's contraband and they didn't want to be caught with it. And every one of you knows that, and anybody saying anything different is an asshole. And that's fine. And that would be the end of it. That would be the entire press meeting. And then I would have, immediately, if you're not aware of it, because I'm a complete asshole who calls a spade, I'd walk into Fox as, the President of the United States. I'd walk into the location, explain to them that they were going to be severely reprimanded by the Federal Communications Commission and end up having their network locked out because of their chronic lying about just random bullshit and putting it under the guise of news. They're a yellow journalism source. They have actually instigated some violence, and I would not censor them as an official government official. I would just make it to where they weren't legally permitted on the airwaves in any way. If you run a transceiver the FCC controls, you can't rebroadcast anything done by Fox. And I mean literally anything. Well, everything. The corporation would have to choose between making money with The Simpsons and actual content or propaganda. Fox, if you're not aware, as far as the news and such, is owned by an asshole from another country that did the same thing in his country and still does technically. It's called propaganda. It has nothing to do with facts. Why would you be so? Because there is an on-the-books anti-propaganda law that's still there that says the Federal Communication Commission can show, all they have to show is that there's any amount of propaganda being produced that is demonstratively untrue and no reason to broadcast by any transceiver or network, and bar them perpetually and all associated companies, or all of them post factually they're guilty of spreading propaganda and giving aid and comfort to the enemy, whatever it may be. Just make them say some 1940s bullshit like that on the air, and then never have these assholes on again. They accomplish nothing. Yes, I think Hunter Biden should be prosecuted. I'm a liberal. Most liberals want him prosecuted and imprisoned because he's a pain in the ass. I swear to God, I don't think he's actually done anything illegal in a very long time. It's just he's so annoying that he exists. When I say disappear, I don't mean in the, booty count mode. I mean, literally just go the fuck away and not be in the news anymore. And yeah, he went and visited his dad after this happened. I would have called him up and said, if you walk into this building, I'll shoot you myself. If I was Joe at this point. I don't understand why somebody hasn't figured out, we love our son here, but let's just make him stay someplace and not go out anymore until hell freezes over. And this is my raw opinion of him. Next, I would also have, if I was Trump, done that with my entire family. There was a bunch of Nepo bullshit going on, and that is a major issue. And no, this doesn't change that Donald Trump overtly admitted that he took documents that he's not legally allowed to have, and he hasn't got the power to suddenly make it to where he gives himself a fucking pass on it. And no, Joe Biden did not do as bad. And on and on and on down the trail of people bringing up whatabouts. I've had people complain on the channel, and I didn't respond directly to the slasher comic that was dumped on my comment section by some people, basically saying, how dare you defend, anybody liberal? And what has this got to do with Trump? It always has to do with Trump. If you make an entire political party for 4 or more years about the current president that's in your party, and he's guilty of literal treason, we, the population, not just the liberals, are going to rub your nose in it until you fucking stop idolizing the little shit. As soon as all the shit happened on January 6th, the entire Republican Party should have told him, we're going to make sure you can't hold office anymore. You're an embarrassment. You're endangering the country. Like they told all the liberals and Democrats that they should do about Antifa getting out of control at one point or another. Even if they weren't getting out of control, their sentiment was, this is bad for the population. I don't necessarily agree with their assessment, but yeah, I think if a group of people are doing something that's literally illegal, like burning down my entire town in Portland, you don't get behind them anymore. I understand the anger and frustration, but stop burning down my damn town. And now I'm not even living there because the town shut down because of COVID and closed all the toilets. Let's simmer on that. Let's wallow in that fact. The most appropriate thing to do was to have every location that had a toilet you could go to shut down, so everybody had to hold it until they went home. Because people, I love the quote, because this will encourage people to go home. We'll close your business unless you close the toilet. Literally the opposite of public health laws about having a washroom with a toilet because, cholera. Yeah, not everything liberals do, I think, is valid at all. But this was amazingly, oh my God, what the fuck is wrong with you? I criticize people based on them doing stupid, non-productive garbage like this. And there's an entire subset of actually both parties have this, but we're talking about the Republicans right now, that won't let go of something that is absolutely shitbagging them. I miss the days of Republicans you could have a discussion about something with, even if they got mad at you, at least they let you finish your sentences. Now they frickin' threaten to kill you. Or they don't talk to you anymore. It's an arrogant, dare I say, elitist attitude. So let's review again. Probably a dime bag of cocaine, which is in DC, is at a level where it would be less, it would be felony, maybe, but probably a misdemeanor. It's fucking DC. What do you think? In an area where anybody can go in and out to do a tour of the West Wing, because it was in a movie or TV show or whatever at one point or another. There was a movie it was in as well, so that started a bunch of tours. They have people go through for the 10-cent tour, and somebody ditched a dime bag because it's contraband and they had to get rid of it. So when they set their cell phone down or whatever, they chucked it in the corner and hoped it wouldn't be seen. It's going to have their fingerprints on it. They're going to find something, unless the person's never done an illegal act. But somehow this is Hunter. Hell, if I was, no, screw the press secretary. I would have come out, yeah, it was my dime bag. Yeah, that's totally true. You can print it. I dare you. I would just sit there fucking with them until they got it out of their system. And I would have aimed my gaze at the one from Fox. So how much propaganda are you going to spew that makes this country great again? How hard are you going to push things? Actually, it wouldn't be Joe Biden at that point, it'd be me. What the fuck are you doing that's making anything better? What the fuck are you accomplishing? No, yelling Hunter Biden or butthurt emails or whatever doesn't fucking accomplish anything. No, they're not a crime family. No, they're not this, that, and the other thing. Because not one stick of evidence shows up, because the entire Republican Party wants to keep the meme train going and propaganda going. It's the same thing. And they're not going to solve anything. None of you gotten any solutions out of this party. Just like us Democrats don't get anything out of our party most of the time. If at all. I'm in a state where they passed a law, which is being challenged, and actually it's put on hold and is not doing anything, where they were going to put a bunch of limitations and a bunch of rules in place that are ridiculously onerous about firearms ownership. And we're not California is the chant I'm making recently. But it was done literally by a vote of, by, and for the people. And all it needs is a rematch to see if it really is going to still be just tiny bit over 50% of people voting for it. Nobody's actually talked about just having everybody vote again because maybe, just maybe, everyone figured it couldn't possibly pass because it was bullshit. Well, it passed anyway. And on another note, the ATF was legally compelled not to have a bunch of rules that they had put in place be valid anymore, because they've been told you don't have the right to make laws, which they've been told that literally for 10 years, but now it's actually stuck once. You're going to see a lot of changes out there. Maybe they're for the best, maybe they're for the worst. I don't know. You decide and I decide, right? But no, it's whatever we're fed by, whatever. I don't watch CNN, I don't watch Fox, I don't actually go look shit up. And I'm angry with all of them for not showing us, where's this cubby area? Maybe we should have a tour of just the cubby area. But no, it wasn't Hunter Biden, it wasn't Joe Biden, it wasn't any of that. The absolute most likely suspect out of literally thousands of people who traipsed through the property, which I don't think is a good idea, was one of them. And if you thought different, I don't know why. Are you that desperate? Again, actual factual proof that Donald Trump literally committed treason at this point. And was probably selling shit to the highest bidder at one point, or at least thinking about it. Versus, I think it's 5 or 6 investigations now where they haven't been able to actually prosecute any of the Bidens because they don't have any goddamn evidence. Meanwhile, Trump is literally wallowing in it in his bathroom. Well, why is that brought up? Okay, why are you bringing up Hunter? He's not a fucking president. He's a loser that's related to one. Does anybody remember Jimmy Carter's brother? Bubba, or whatever his name is? Post below if you remember that. That'll prove you watched the video to the end. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.